Welcome back to GTA Vice City 100% the wrong way. Well, it's debatable if it's the wrong way. The last thing we left off with, remember, was we were trying to drop off 100 people in the taxi. We've only made it to 20. But we've done everything else apart from rampages and sticking up shops, things that we can do right now. So we should have it. There we go. Taxi in here. We'll start off with this. Makes sense. We'll start off with something simple. People are still probably gonna be questioning why this is sort of the 100% the wrong way. The main reason is just because you're only meant to have gotten, I don't think there's an even 50-50 split. I think there's more on the second island. So I think you're meant to get like 40 something on this first island before, getting hidden packages on the second island. In fact, even then, there's probably only about 40, or maybe even 30 that you can get, because a lot of them require helicopters or doing certain missions to get to a place where a helicopter would be needed. I don't know why I'm going this way. And obviously because of slightly breaking the game, we can obviously get, to the helicopter to get the 100 hidden packages. Doing all the side missions before doing the first mission. So that we're basically overpowered, we've got a ton of money, health, armor, guns, everything, really. Alright, so we gotta get 80. Let's see if we can get 80 in a row. Because I didn't get 20 in a row last time, if you're watching that. I ran over someone. Because... I felt like I was also doing taxi on the second island, not here. But I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. Vigilante is not possible on the second island. Fire truck's not possible on the second island, so I'm assuming taxi and like paramedic isn't doable on the second island before you've unlocked it. Just a bit weird, because surely it'd like just spawn in. Yeah. Anyway. There are also a couple of other vehicle side missions. Some of you may know Cone Crazy, stuff like that. We'll be doing that as well before doing the first mission. I'm not going to go crazy with the, sort of Cone Crit, sort of like the doubling money kind of thing. Yeah, we're not going to go crazy. We're going to do Cone Crazy once. No, I didn't even mean that. We're going to do like Cone Crazy once, Trial by Dirt once, Test Track once. I think there's a few others. But obviously there's some that obviously, you can keep doing again and again to get double the reward. I might leave Cone Crazy to do that. So yeah, so I might do it as slow as possible to do the first... What the hell are you doing? So that then, I can get, like, maximum money if need be, by doing Cone Crazy later on. Again, because getting infinite money, well, not infinite money, 999999999, you go what I mean, this early on, it's kind of pointless. Because when you earn money in missions, you have to spend that money. There's a bunch of other things that obviously, you know, I'll be doing before we even start the first mission. So at this point of recording this, I don't know how many episodes or parts this is going to be. You know, because we're going to be doing everything. Obviously, like I said, there are a couple of side mission sort of things that I would love to do before we could start the first mission, but we kind of need to complete missions before they actually get given to us, such as the assassination missions and the Sunshine Autos races, because we have to buy Sunshine Autos. And you can't buy Sunshine Autos until, I believe you have to do Shakedown. I believe you have to. I'm not entirely sure, but I think you have to do Shakedown. Sorry. Where's the... do want to mention again that this is live streamed on Twitch, same as some of the Lego playthroughs that I've done previously. So if you come over to the chat, obviously you don't see chat for this one, but yeah, you don't see chat on the screen for these playthroughs, but chat is there. So if you do come along to the streams, you can come say hi, and I will say hi back. Obviously, I do other live streams which I don't post to YouTube, but it's also the same thing with the Crash Bandicoot ones as well. Well, the current sort of having to stream my pain rather than spending 3-4 hours. Anyway, back onto this game. What else can we do before the first mission? I feel like we can do the stadium events. Yeah, I feel like we can do the stadium events, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Maybe the RC car events? The Top Fun events? Although again, I'm not entirely sure. Because normally what I would do is I'd do a couple of missions. Like maybe do the lawyer missions, and then I'd go do the pizza one to get 150 health, and I'd collect, you know, enough to get the Python revolver for hidden packages, and then that'd be it, really. You know, for me, kind of like if I, you know, sort of playing it casually back in the day. Also, I guess this is, you know, 100% the wrong way. One, because you kind of glitch to do certain things. Where is it? It's this one. Yeah, you do. I'm gonna pick you up. Someone down here?
Come on, I'm late for tennis.
You're late for tennis. Yeah, but also in kind of like, yeah, again, you glitch in to get, you know, hidden packages and whatnot. But also, like, if you start the game up, you're not gonna immediately go for, you know, kind of the some of the 100% stuff. Oh yeah, you're not gonna do that immediately. You might do it like a bit way through, maybe, you know, kind of like. You know, like you might get into like a taxi and keep seeing like the press R3 for a submission, or press caps lock for a submission, be like, sure, fine. And then you realise you can get money, and then it's like, when you start trying to go through assets, you're like, I might as well just do this. It's kind of simpler.
Don't run away from me.
I'm not running away. I'm actually driving away. But also, sort of, speedrun. Obviously, in a speedrun, you wouldn't go for the 100% stuff first and then complete all the missions. You do all the, you know, you get all sort of like the extra shit while doing the main missions. Which is the one thing that's kind of just like, they're always kind of funny with sort of 100% speedruns. It's like, well, you don't get time to use the rewards in an actual run. You know? It's like, it's a speed run, you don't need to do the you know, the rewards for whatever percentage anyway. Can you fuck off? You know. In fact, speaking of speedruns, I think I was talking about speedruns last time. Or one of the previous times. I want to say one thing that I kind of sort of not regret, but kind of like realized when sort of speedrunning a game. It's like, if you speedrun a game that you like, you know, that's kind of the obvious things what you do. You speedrun a game that you like, and you go, oh wow, you know, like, because I love this game, I can keep playing it forever and ever and ever.
What you thinking?
That's kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because you
stupid
probably, you know, a lot of the game anyway. Where is the ball? But then the bad thing, right, is that if you love a game, right, but you had problems beating it, like when you were younger or kind of thing, and then you do a speedrun and then realize you can beat it in 2 hours, and you're like, or, you know, whatever time, you're like, oh, well, will I ever play this game casually again? That's this kind of thing that's happened to me. Like, I think I mentioned previously that I always had trouble beating the last mission in this game. I've always had trouble beating Keep Your Friends Close, especially because I always played it on a console or on a like controller. It's kind of difficult compared to sort of like the PC sort of free aim that you get in third person. So yeah, so I was never able to beat the final mission. And then I managed to beat the final mission, like, you know, from sort of getting the PS4 version of Vice City, or the PS4 version of the PS2 version of, like, whatever. That was cool. Yeah, and then beating it for my first time then to get 100% completion. And then I was like, you know, I'll speedrun it. And then I don't know if anyone's seen my Vice City speedruns. Vice City console, any percent. I now can beat the game in, you know, 2.5 hours, where, you know, it's a bit like, huh. Because then you look back at playing the game casually and you're like, oh man, all that kind of useless shit I was doing when playing it casually, didn't need to do any of that. But yeah, obviously that's kind of more of like if you play a game a lot, or you speedrun the game sort of properly, not just on and off. Kind of like playing that game casually is kind of something you don't really do. Then again, it depends on how much enjoyment you get from speedrunning the game versus just sort of when you played it casually. Do you get more, you know, more enjoyment out of speedrunning the game rather than, you know, is it like more enjoyment sort of because you get to play a game that you love and sort of do it fast, or and just, you know, stuff like that. Just stuff like that to think about. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, stunt jumps. Oh, I just realised stunt jumps as well. It's not that I dislike no, I kind of dislike stunt jumps.
I'll give you an elbow to the head. I need a ride. Taxi!
You need a ride to the beach. Just look, here's the beach. Yeah. I think I might have to look up a map for the... I'm sorry, what was that? What? Yeah, he's really fleeing in terror, isn't he? He fleed so hard he died.
Thank you.
I don't know what I hit. I think I hit this person who was stuck in the floor. But... what? Does that kind of glitch get fixed in the definitive edition? Oh, wait. It doesn't. Another taxi, then. Alright, so we've got 15 down. That's, what, 35 overall. Yeah. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. Stop screaming. Oh. North Point Mall. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to get a map for the stunt jumps because it's not obvious, and I may have to get map for the rampages because I don't want to accidentally forget one. Oh wait, there might be some stunt jumps I can't do. I'm not sure. Oh wait, no. I was talking about stunt jumps before. Yeah, I can't do some of the ones, and like the latest is doing like G Spotlight. Yeah, because G Spotlight you gotta do. You can't go into the lift beforehand. So yeah. But I wonder how many we can't do, because I think there's about 4 or 5 on that sort of section there. I'm pretty sure the unique stunt jump sort of speedrun category that is 35/36. I'm kind of not sure why. Why is it not all the stunt jumps? Why is it only you do 35 or you can do 36? Can we stop trying to roll this fucking thing? Maybe I should just try and find one of the other taxi vehicles. Because constantly keep rolling this is a bit of a mistake. It's gonna be annoying. As long as I don't crash into a fucking head stuck in the sand again.
Dangerous driving is a crime!
Is it? Got 20 seconds. Get in. Because apparently I have a time limit. Who's giving me this time limit? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, kind of Crazy Taxi was because the game, but this is not.
That was your fault.
Hey, Flying Wolf, move it.
Eh, fucked. Oh, got ran over. You know, it'd be nice if I could be a taxi in literally any other car. There is kind of no reason to just be in this taxi for doing taxi. Like, no, right? Because you get 4 doors, right? You get 4 doors, but you can only ever pick up 1 person at a time. It is literally like Crazy Taxi 1. Because the first Crazy Taxi, it was just like, hey, you can only pick up 1 person at a time. But then in Crazy Taxi 2, they were like, oh yeah, you should be able to pick up, you know, like up to 3 people. Because that makes sense. Can you not be over a blind crest? But you're not blind, you can see. Anyway. Well, I've said all my random garbled nonsense. I don't need to say any more. fucking go faster.
Hey,
Calm down, miss. Points a gun at my passenger. Calm the fuck down. Okay? Just calm down. Let's get in. No. The beach. You know what's a bad thing to mention at any point? Grand Theft Auto: The Definitive Edition. Like, I know what probably a lot of people are probably gonna say, right? To try and defend it and Rockstar and whatever, right? A lot of people are gonna say, well, how would you notice that unless you were looking for, you know, faults and everything? Which, a lot of it, okay, yeah, I can kind of see some of that, you know, like, it's like, but if you're exploring a sandbox map and you find things that are broken or don't work properly or are glitched out, you're going to be pretty pissed off. Or you're going to be annoyed. You're going to be like, what the fuck is this? But, okay, sometimes you can find glitches by doing things, but I don't mean that. I mean, like, someone did a video where one of the boats at the docks, not one that's kind of like sort of obvious that you'd go onto it for any reason apart from you're exploring the map. Yeah, it's like one of the big ships, one of the big cargo ships at the docks. Its hitbox is not aligned with its actual, you know, like, model.
Hey, blind ball, move it.
So, yeah, it's kind of very much like you try and get on the boat by the wooden plank, it's like to get onto it, but it doesn't work. And then also you can drive a boat into sort of one end of it. But then if you go the other side, its hitbox extends way past what the model that you can see. And it's the same all over, and it's like, how do you fuck that up? And then obviously there's the things where, like, you know, sort of some of the ground swallows you up. Like, some of the ground where it's models is just like it's like sort of hitboxes below the texture, and you know, just stuff like that. It's like stuff like that is just kind of like, come on. Like, of course you're going to be exploring the map if you've played the original. If you play Vice City, if you played Vice City, of course you're going to see those kinds of problems, because you're going to be, you know, exploring and being like, oh, cool, it looks so much better now, you know, I want to see what they've done, and then you just see a complete mess, and you're just like, oh. And the argument of kind of, well, the average gamer wouldn't be looking for these kind of things. They'd be playing it and be like, oh my god, it's, you know, new, it's, you know, looks so much better than before. Even though this still looks really good. It's the thing of, like, there's no such thing as an average gamer anymore. You know? Because you're either kind of into games, or you're not. And if you're not into games, what games are you going to be playing if you do play games? You're going to be playing sort of, you know, Animal Crossing, Mario Party, Mario Kart, Tetris, Pokemon, you know, that kind of thing. You're not going to be playing fucking GTA Vice City or fucking Call of Duty Vanguard, you know. You're going to be playing, you know, kind of stuff that's, you know, that you would be sort of comfortable playing, and it's not going to be like a competitive thing. Well, I mean, Mario Kart and Mario Party, but you're still going to have fun while playing it, you know. So there's no such thing as an average gamer. So it's hard for anyone to recommend the definitive edition. But in any kind of sense, because like if you want convenience, like how many versions of Vice City do I own? I think I own 3. I think 3. Yeah, 3. I own the PS2 version, the PS4 version of the PS2 version, and I own the PC version of the original Vice City, not like definitive edition or anything like that. You know. So for convenience for me, if I want to play Vice City, the convenience for me is playing it on PS4, because I'm always on my PS4. If I want to load up Vice City, boom, there you go, PS4. You know, if I felt really nostalgic and I wanted like the old soundtrack, the old voice lines and sort of everything like that, like from the original version of Vice City, I go play my PS2 version. You know, get to listen to, you know, Billie Jean and, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, and then if I wanted sort of like, you know, less loading screens and kind of like, you know, sort of a new experience, I could play it on keyboard and mouse on my PC. And I know not a lot of people are going to kind of have the amount of options, but the PS2 was also, I think the PS2 is still the best-selling console of all time. I'm not sure if it's that or the Wii. I think it's very close. But the PS2 is, if not, you know, yeah, if not the best-selling console, it's one of the best. So, finding a second-hand PS2 and a second-hand copy of Vice City, or even GTA 3 or San Andreas, it's not that difficult to go and do. You know? So the definitive edition, what the definitive edition needed to do was bring the graphics up, bring the gameplay up, bring a lot more kind of quality to the game, and, you know, fix any kind of like sort of major glitches that are like sort of, you know, oh, the game could crash if it does this, and also make it run smoother, you know, 60 FPS and that kind of shit. But what did they do? Oh, well, they added 60 FPS, but if you choose it to run at like unlimited FPS on PC, it goes below 60. But if you say, hey, run it at 60, like frame limit at 60, it then runs at 60. how can an unlimited, or at least a 144 frame rate FPS, not make it run at 60? Because it runs it below 60, but if you run it at 60, it then runs at 60. I'm not a frame rate snob, but like if you have to set the game to be 60 FPS so that the game runs at 60 FPS, but if you want it more, you can't get it to run at higher than 60 FPS because it's just stop. Also, considering the models, just like while like the world and sort of everything like that looks great, the character models are probably one of the things that with the sort of graphics I'm like, no. I mean, the main thing, like one of the main sort of things, right? That just it doesn't grow on you because it just looks so fucking ridiculous. Is Asuka from GTA 3. Her in the definitive edition of GTA 3 is fucking ridiculous. Also, I was just there. I literally was just at the fucking hospital and they're like, nope, fled in terror. And I'm like, fuck off. Anyway. But yeah, no, just the fucking yeah, Asuka in GTA 3, and that's how the game says it. That's how the fucking people in the game say it. Because I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like Asuka, but they say Asuka. I'm gonna say Asuka. Yeah, in the definitive edition, she is cross-eyed as fuck. And it's fucking her, because she's meant to be one of the serious characters. You know, she's meant to be serious, and you just look at her in a cutscene, it's just like she's fucking cross-eyed. Like she's threatening someone, cross-eyed. And it's like, you couldn't, how'd you fuck that up? How'd you fuck that up? Again, I'm not attacking fucking Grove Street Games, the people who actually did the definitive edition. Kind of thing. I'm blaming the fact that it's Rockstar a lot of the time. Because I guarantee Rockstar were just like, you've got 3 months, do it. And they were like, oh, what? Because that's kind of the annoying thing now with games. Either the game comes out unfinished and then, you know, developers just go, here's a bunch of patches. Or the game takes so long to come out that basically if you pre-ordered it and then they kept pushing back the date, you basically have an NFT. But then even when the game does release, because you've hyped it up for so long, because it's like, oh my god, they're taking so long to do it, you know, they must be like fixing so many things, they must be making it so much better. And then it comes out and then it's more disappointing because you hyped it up for so long. It's just one or the other, and that's... It's just such a problem. Again, I'm not putting this on developers or anything. I'm just saying that like it's more kind of, well, I mean the the second one where you're hyping up a game and it doesn't then meet your expectations. Yeah, that's more on the gamers. But the but yeah, the one where the game comes out unfinished, that's the developers. And I want to say something. I keep having to remember that, like, when I'm recording these videos, when I'm live streaming this, and then it goes up on YouTube, it's gonna be a
Bring that chariot over here.
bit longer until, you know, like, it actually comes out. So I have to make sure that what I'm saying is relevant. And right now I'm ranting about Definitive Edition, which has come out 4 or 5 months ago. It's only because I'm playing this game. Yeah, there's something around this time that I want to mention, because I think I might be the only person who's kind of like, it doesn't really affect me that much. You know? Yeah. I don't know if anyone else gets that with like games where it's kind of like a game is exclusive to a certain console, or there's an exclusive thing to a certain game platform or whatever, that like it's okay. That it's like, oh, it's exclusive for like a while, and it's like, well, doesn't really matter which side I'm on, you know. If I get it, woo. If I don't get it, can't have been that good. Yeah, and I'm saying that kind of like sort of exclusive games and sort of things. Because while I am on PlayStation, while I am a fan of the Sony, I don't really care much for the exclusives that are on PlayStation, really. I mean, yeah, okay, I want to play the Marvel Spider-Man and sort of the Miles Morales kind of thing, because that, you know, it was like a cool game to play, would really get invested in sort of like the 100% stuff of it and everything like that. But do I get about Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, The Last of Us? Not really. You know? And I was actually thinking about this, where the fuck are any people? Hello, people? Where is anyone? Hello? Have all the people just disappeared? Hello? Oh, there we go. Fucking hell. Game could not spawn in people. Get in. Oh, you want to go back to the same fucking point I just drove from? Yeah. Like, I would say there's only one reason at this point why you would buy one console of another, and it's more backwards compatibility slash sort of backwards compatibility brand loyalty. Like, if I were to buy a PS5 now, the reason I'd buy a PS5 is because I've got PS4 games that I can play on it that will be a bit better. But then that's kind of the thing. It's like, well, there's no PS5 games that I want, because what, there's Astro's fucking Playroom or whatever it is, and it's like, well, it's free. Where am I going? Yeah, no one's spawning. The fuck. Yeah. But then there's also kind of like a thing of why I'd get an Xbox Series X is because, you know, then I can play Xbox One, Xbox 360, original Xbox, and Xbox Series X games on it. You know? So I don't have to worry, you know, that I didn't have an Xbox One. And I guess, and it's the same thing the other way around, you know? Like, I don't have to go at, like, you know, you don't have to go out and buy a PS4 to play PS4 games. You know, kind of like, you know, you kind of had to, if you didn't have a PS3, you kind of needed to buy a PS3 to play PS3 games. Because you couldn't play PS3 games on the PS4. But now it's just kind of got to the point where literally the consoles are the same. If you care about exclusives, go for one console over the other. But even then, even that kind of thing of exclusives is like, yeah, I want to play Forza Horizon. Do I want to play Gears of War? No. Do I want to play Halo? No. It's just the thing. It's just the thing. It's just like, just... Obviously, I'm speaking for myself here, and I know a lot of other people care more about kind of exclusives and stuff. And I know PlayStation has kind of got more sort of unique exclusives compared to Xbox. Whereas Xbox, Xbox has got exclusive like IPs and stuff that have been going on for years at this point. I mean, Halo is a original Xbox game. Forza series, Gears of War, what other things were all Xbox 360 titles they started off as. You know, whereas obviously, you know, you got the PS4 Spider-Man. Obviously for PS4, and then you've got Miles Morales, which is, you know, for PS5. So it's like, you know, I get there's been tons of Spider-Man games, but, you know, sort of Spider-Man being exclusive to PlayStation, it's kind of like, oh, it's a PS4 thing. It's a kind of relatively new kind of console thing. It's not like a series that's been going on for ages. And then even if you count The Last of Us, yeah, okay, Last of Us was PS3 and PS4. But that's not had, you know, like, how many Gears of Wars have there been? I think there's 7? You know, how many, what, I think the 8th Forza Motorsport game that's coming out, the 5th Forza Horizon has come out. We've gotten to the point where they've forgotten what number of Halo they're on, so they've just put an infinite. Yeah, I'm not ragging on the games, I'm just saying that, like, it feels like Microsoft, if they want to have sort of, I mean, they tried new IPs. You know, Sunset Overdrive. Like, I want to play Sunset Overdrive. However, I do not have an Xbox One. Or now an Xbox Series X. But then also, sort of, Dead Rising 3. Like, I want to play Dead Rising 3. I need an Xbox One Xbox One / Xbox Series X to play that. And, you know, but it's kind of the weird thing of like, oh yeah, I can play Dead Rising 1, 2 off the record and 4 on the PS4, but I can't play Dead Rising 3 on the PS4, and I can't play sort of, you know, Case Zero or Case West on PS4. It's just yeah, fine. Okay, I'll mention it. Microsoft bought Activision. Well, Activision Blizzard. And the only thing about that is that Activision kind of, while they've been putting out some Crash and Spyro games, like I'm not even going to say fairly recently, because my years have been warped, and fucking the pandemic we're in, I don't even know. It feels weird to say that it's been however many years since whenever you know, Crash released. Crash Insane Trilogy was released, but like, yeah, besides those, what does Activision really have? You know, they've got the Blizzard titles, which is, you know, Overwatch, Hearthstone, other things that are, like, stuff like that. And then the Activision side is Call of Duty, Crash, and Spyro. And yes, while they've made Crash 4, and kind of the thing was like, oh, where, you know, some people go, oh, where's Spyro 4 then? Or is there going to be a Spyro that's a continuation? Kind of thing. That hasn't happened. You know, so it's kind of like, well, you got Crash and Spyro, but because I do like to 100% games, me trying to 100% Crash 4 is never going to happen, because it's way too fucking difficult. Yeah, so I didn't get it. Because I'd like to, you know, at least try and 100% or get the most out of the games, rather than just sort of playing through it. You get what I mean? So yeah, well done, but also, like, nothing's going to be really exclusive to Microsoft. No Activision Blizzard game is going to be exclusive to Microsoft, because one, Call of Duty for the PS4 and Xbox One generation, it's been the highest selling PS4 game every year, sort of franchise wise. You know, so for them to be like, oh no, Call of Duty is now Xbox exclusive for however long, is a bit stupid. But also, if Microsoft wanted sort of the exclusivity kind of deal sort of thing that PlayStation has with, you know, has with like Call of Duty, they didn't need to buy Activision to do that. You know, sort of Microsoft buying Bethesda earlier this year, and yes, while I would love to have Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas remastered, the annoying thing that it's never happened and probably isn't going to happen, we're probably just going to have to be, what is it, Fallout 5, I think? If I got my numbers correctly. There's going to be a Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6, and they might be exclusive for some time on Xbox. Am I really going to care? No. Because there's pros and cons with sort of in general, there's pros and cons with buying games early compared to not buying them early. You know? If we were to go down that, you kind of get where I'm going with that as well. So this has just been kind of just a weird rant on and just kind of things, but it's like, you know, especially with, you know, like a big Bethesda game like Fallout or Elder Scrolls, what's going to happen in like the first month of the game coming out? There are going to be so many glitches and so many patches that are going to have to come out to fix those glitches, those game crashes, everything like that. And it's the same thing with a lot of the sort of recent Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, the fucking Cold War, Modern Warfare 2019, Vanguard, you know. Like, but then there's obviously kind of, if you're talking about kind of like a game that releases every year, like Call of Duty, the problem with the game releasing every year is that if you don't buy it immediately, and you buy it sometime later in the year, one, you're going to have less time to do it, especially with how they're doing the current sort of progression and seasonal shit and whatnot. But even before then, you'd be behind in, you know, prestiges, leveling up, having cool weapons, cool unlocks, you know, everything like that. And everything that's kind of sort of seen as overpowered. Yeah, and then, like I said, you've only got a certain amount of time to actually play the game while it's kind of still very active. You know, it has kind of a con of buying things late, but also kind of buying things late, spoilers for kind of single player games. But if you can avoid spoilers for it, then whatever. Why is this game not giving me any people? Hello? Sir? Sir? Are you there?
Sorry about that.
We don't have all day here, buddy.
But, yeah, like, you buy a game early, there could be a lot of problems with it, sort of, you know, the game might not even be working, there might be problems with the game, you're pretty much the guinea pig at that point of like, oh, you do the QA testing. You know, obviously if you buy a game late, you can get it cheaper a lot of the time, which is why I looked at, is it The Outer Worlds? Yeah, The Outer Worlds. I looked at that game and I'm like, I want to play that. That seems pretty cool, you know, it's like a Fallout in space kind of thing. And I'm like, you know, that'd be really cool to kind of play and sort of have fun with and everything. And I'm like, well, I'll wait for it to go down in price, because I know that if I buy it now, I won't even get to it, you know. You know. Yeah, like, I'll buy it, because I've got so many games in my fucking backlog of games that I play. It's like, well, when am I ever going to get to it? I'm going to get to it when it's probably on offer, when it's cheaper, whatever. You know. Like, if I'm like halfway through the game and then it goes on, you know, goes on offer or it's cheaper than what I bought it for, don't really care. But if I buy the game and then if I buy the game and then don't play it for a bit and then it's on offer, Game, why am I out of time? Oh yeah, I know why I'm out of time. Because fucking you wouldn't give me any fucking passengers for... Come to the road, you fucking idiot. Hello? Dick. Yeah. And for me, because of that kind of thing of like, oh, if I get really hyped for a game and then it kind of, you know, comes out new and I'm like, I won't get to that in a long time. Just because of sort of backlog of games or kind of what games I'm playing, especially when I was playing Call of Duty. Like I literally have not touched Call of Duty in like a month, just because. Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but just because, you know, don't have sort of the drive to play it. You know. But yeah, sort of being like, oh yeah, look, you know, play brand new game that comes out. Yeah, and like I said, what I was about to say, it's kind of hard for me to get kind of hyped for any games. It's like, oh, games that are coming out in 2022. Well, there's a guaranteed Call of Duty. I think there's a Forza Motorsport coming out this year. I'm not 100% sure on that. And there's like a lot of other games I'm just like, well, I don't really care. Well, there's a Rainbow Six Extraction, which was based on the sort of DLC that was going to be added to Rainbow Six Siege, but then I guess they took it out and made a full game of it, which doesn't make sense. Because it's just essentially an add-on for Siege, but not the full game that you're spending 60 quid on. 10 out of 10. The last game I was hyped for, which when did I pre-order it? It would have been near the beginning of 2020. At the beginning of 2020, before COVID, I pre-ordered Far Cry 6. Super special Ubisoft Store edition, whatever. Comes with fucking flamethrower replica from the game, and there's the Ultimate Edition, got all the DLC, Season Pass, everything like that. And I was like, yeah, sure, love Far Cry, do that. That was the last game that I was hyped for. To kind of come out. I guess sort of the game before that would have been, I guess, Call of Duty Cold War, which I was skeptical until a certain point, but it's just hard for me to be hyped about games, especially when I'm like, they're going to be really expensive at launch. I'm going to wait. So even like it's. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just really fucking difficult just to be into games, but you've also got to choose which games you want to play because you don't want to leave a bunch of unfinished games. Like, fun fact, I wanted to play Batman Arkham Asylum, which I believe came out in like 2000. I don't want to say 2008. I think it was either 9 or 10. Well, that's impressive. Yeah, that came out then, and I'm like, Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play that. It's now about 12 years later. I still want to play it. It's even been remastered as a collection on PS4. Am I actually going to go play it? Probably not. Yeah. Why am I not going to play it? Because one, it's been too long. You know? And I've still got a bunch of other games that... Like, PlayStation... If you have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold, you know how bad it is, right, for getting those free games and being like, yeah, I'll play them at some point. And then it basically just keeps racking up because you're like, oh yeah, well, I'll try and do as much as I can in this game, you know. You just get to a point of just like, oh god. And then you also realise that you're still playing GTA Vice City for the 50 millionth time for stream of the videos, rather than actually playing those new games. Being a gamer's hard, okay? Especially with exclusives. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, exclusives need to fuck off. It's just, we need... But first of all, we need is it cross-gen? Cross-platform? Whatever the fucking word is. So that if I wanted to play fucking, I don't know, if I wanted to play Call of Duty, GTA Online, Far Cry multiplayer, fucking, I'm trying to look down my games, Doom multiplayer, Borderlands 3 co-op, fucking, what else is there? Killing Floor 2, you know, multiplayer, or co-op I guess, that I could play with people who are on PC, on Xbox, fucking hell, even on Switch. Like I want that more than I want sort of a console that has, like, every console to have, you know, no exclusives kind of thing. Exactly, because I like, here's the thing, right, like, you don't want to force someone who, you know, has like a high-end PC, spent thousands on it, to then not be able to play with a console person just because they have to have like the console version of the game. You know? Like, you shouldn't be punished for either having like just a PC or having just console. Stupid. Why can't we all just get along? Why the hell, like... There's just so many things wrong with... Just... Everyone... Just make everyone... Just... It's... Why is it so hard just to make everyone happy? It's not that hard. Like, Call of Duty does it, but then you play competitive games with fucking people who are on PC, and you're on console, and it's just like, well, I don't want to play with these people. Especially if you get put in like a try-hard lobby. But then it's kind of like, well, I want to play like co-op with you know, someone who has, you know, the PC version of whatever. It's just difficult. So I should talk more about the game rather than all this other kind of stuff.